What's good, everybody? It is Thursday, October 21st, 2021. This is the Early Edge, your daily sports betting show of record. And we are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. Recapping our Wednesday here on the show, up and down. Thank goodness for soccer, because if you are a member of SportsLine, you killed it with like 8 or 9 winners that weren't even on the show yesterday. But those that were, we hit Bayern, we hit Chelsea. Very, very nice. Coastal Carolina couldn't figure out how to get it done. However, Brian, I see you in the chat. We don't come in here and bust on a loss from last night. We're going to have losses all the time. So come on, don't say what's good and then they have a loss. Come on. We're positive on a beautiful Thursday morning. Now, we've got a busy week ahead of us. And certainly our evening show, Early Edge Live. If you're not familiar with it, here is our schedule for the rest of the week. Tonight, of course, our Thursday night football preview, 7:20 Eastern, all the way up to kickoff. We give you sides, totals, props, the whole 9 yards. We have you covered. You want to tune in for that. Then, of course, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time, our player prop special, Prop Stars, Dave Richard. They've been killing it. Sunday, 2 different live shows, noon Eastern and 7:20 Eastern time. Then, of course, Monday at 7:15 Eastern time with me and the guys. All right, let's bring in the stars of the show. And you know that Week 7 is kicking off when I've got this motley crew right below me. He's always either on the ones and the twos. He's always talking to you on social media. The hardest working man in all of SportsLine. We call him AB. Allan Bell, good morning.
Coach, good morning. Good morning to you fine gentlemen. Great to be on with you.
Awesome. Right next to my man, AB. Wow, twice this week. The lady killer, Matty Severance. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I just want to say, make sure to check the site. I was 6-1 across the 4 sports yesterday. And got to brag. Got App State, too. But I do want to call it now. I noticed you're wearing a Dodgers hat. I think if they lose tonight, it's embarrassing. 5 games. I don't think Dave Roberts is back next year. He has a contract through 2022. And I'm predicting that former Washington State coach Nick Rolovich sues the Dodgers if he doesn't get an interview.
He's suing everybody else. He's suing everybody else. Oh, my goodness. By the way, I saw your tweet last night. Don't try me, Matty Severance, because I saw what you said. You said maybe I shouldn't be on the Early Edge anymore. Maybe I should just put my pick. I saw you. I saw you. We love you here. We love you on the show. Don't ever threaten that again. All right. Right next to me, we call him M Squared. He is our absolute DFS guru. Anything you need, he's got you. Mikey, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. I'm hoping the Braves hat can close you out today. We'll see what happens on that one, though. But I don't. Maybe we'll have some sort of a showdown bet on it if you want to get in on that. We'll see. But good morning. Fired up for this Thursday night football game for sure.
No, I do not want a showdown bet with you, first of all. You guys know me with my hats. I just go to Lids, and I live in the L.A. area, so there's a million different L.A. hats, so I just like them. But I do not like the Dodgers. They've been pitiful. Terrible. I did hit the over last night, so that covered my series bet. Oh, and our final man today, he is our heartbeat. There is nobody that keeps us on the tracks more than this man. We call him the Maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Maddie, you didn't need to brag about yourself. I was going to mention that you are off to a 14-7 start in the NHL, and I'm psyched to see that you have one play for the show. I'm sure you'll have more on the site.
And let's not forget, Maestro, that Allie has a play for tonight. Do you remember what that is from yesterday, sir?
Capitals, but
Ding, 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 ding. You win a year-long membership to SportsLine just for answering that question correctly. It is the Capitals, I believe, minus 135 from the show yesterday, 4 tonight. Tony, I see you, girl. All right, Gerardo, Eric, all over the chat. All right, let's get into storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And I believe, Maddie, I want to start with you because you're talking about NFL, football, and overtime. 2 things that we love. Talk to me.
Yeah, FanDuel has a prop that any Sunday game goes to overtime at minus 120, just a yes-only prop. There have been 11 overtime games so far through 6 weeks, the second most that deep into a season behind 12 in 1995. At least one game each week has gone to OT. The record for consecutive weeks with at least one to start a season is 7 in 2018. Well, I might play this prop in a normal week. I think they're kind of trying to trick you here because, number one, they're only listing it. Obviously, you only get Sunday games, so you subtract Monday and Thursday. And remember, there are 6 teams on the bye this week, so that's 3 fewer games. So, well, I brought this up. I probably wouldn't recommend it this week with so many teams off.
Okay. Now, if you do give that play, are you going to give it on the early edge, or are you going to just give it on SportsLine? I just got to see where your loyalties lie.
MySpace. My MySpace.
Oh, yeah, very good. We'll give that on MySpace so nobody will be able to see it.
Right.
All right, let's go to AB. And AB, we all know you live in Nashville. We all know you're a Titans fan. We all know where your loyalties lie. And this week, the world-famous Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're coming to town. What do you got?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think my allegiance lies now with Matty Boy's MySpace page. I want to know if he's got the early edge song like right there on his profile. No, look, when we had the Chiefs and the Titans, kind of coming into town here, we have two instances of these teams playing under kind of their current construction in terms of Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill, Andy Reid, Mike Vrabel, etc. In both of those instances, the home team won, the home team covered. The home team scored exactly 35 points, but that part is not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is this. Both teams had much better defenses, and they averaged 63 points per game, right? And you look at both defenses, they're nowhere near where they were, what they used to be. Both overs hit in those instances as well. So watch that number, as everyone in the public kind of might think that it's going to be lower. You might want to go over here.
It feels like no matter what the juice is on this, that we're going to pay it. I see Pineapple in the chat says the juice is worth the squeeze, and I feel like today, no matter what it is, we're squeezing that over tonight. Don't forget 7:20 Eastern time live early edge tonight, as we'll give out several picks on that show. Thank you, AB. Now, there are a lot of correlations and relationships between the Broncos and the Browns who play tonight on Thursday Night Football. My man, the Maestro, has some things that kind of make sense together. What do you got, Maestro?
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Mikey because I think this is.
What did I do? My apologies. Sorry. I had that great lead in and I get to the wrong person. Mikey, you have the relationships. My apologies. Go ahead.
Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Minnesota Vikings, Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski was the quarterback's coach and then the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. When Teddy Bridgewater threw his last pass as he was relieving Case Keenum crushed it that year for him, led him to a 12-3 finish. There is a reason why Case Keenum plays for the Cleveland Browns, why they paid him $18 million to be the backup quarterback there. Stefanski loves him from his time that they worked together there. So just keep in mind that this is a quarterback that the Browns absolutely love.
I love that story. If you don't have a good backup quarterback in the NFL these days, you've got no shot at having a successful season, it feels like. All right, now I can come back over to the Maestro, and you're going to be focusing, yes, on this game, but a different storyline. What do you got?
Yeah, well, injuries, obviously the big story. One of the two tackles for the Browns looks like he will play. Wills. Conklin looks to be out. In terms of the receivers, Jarvis Landry looks like he will play. Has not played since week 2 with the knee injury. Beckham, though, with the shoulder, looks like he won't play. I've been waiting eagerly for these Browns receivers, tight ends, props, and we still haven't seen any. There's one I'm really interested in based on the matchup, but we've had to wait because of these injuries. I'm just hoping we get them, sometime before inactives. I hope they don't take it all the way to the wire.
And could you possibly text the rest of us before you give it out? Because once you give it out, it's going to change in a heartbeat. We know that.
Well,
all of you.
That's prop stars territory. Yeah, mine don't move like that.
Don't underestimate yourself. Do not underestimate yourself. Now, the one thing that we pride ourselves on here at the Early Edge is that you give us information, you give us what you want, and we try to give it right back to you. So I saw this note in the chat from Lawrence Brinkman. Lawrence says, anybody here into the Europa League? Well, we kind of are. So you want a Europa League pick? I got you, Lawrence, right here, right now. One play from SportsLine today. By the way, if you're not a member of SportsLine, what in the world are you doing? I'm going to do you a solid, though. Use a promo code EDGE right here, right now. If you're not, I'm going to give you 30 days for free. Every major sport is playing right now. So you got it all covered. Hockey, baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA. We got you. By the way, in your feed right now, Mega Preview NFL, Mega Preview College, all of our MMA stuff. Come on. Follow our YouTube channel too. All right, enough of the housekeeping. Let's get into Europa League, courtesy of Lawrence. Now, of course, Martin Green's giving us the pick. Both teams to score Not today. Minus 106. West Ham and Genk. G-E-N-K is how it's spelled. 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're betting on West Ham and Genk either not to score. We'd like West Ham, though, and you're going to see that coming up in the gym. But both teams not to score. Minus 106 is the play. All right, let's get to my cappers. And I miss getting to do this every single day. But when I do get to do it, it makes me feel really, really good. M squared. You know the drill, son. Oh. Give it to me.
All right, Coach, we're headed to that Thursday night football game. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns -2 here, minus 105, minus 110. You can find a minus 1.5, but laying some juice to do it. I would prefer not to do that. I would rather take the -2 at the reduced juice, but I love this spot for the Browns. They're at home. Yes, they've been dealing with injuries. I just talked about Case Keenum. So fun fact about Case Keenum, he is the all-time leader in terms of passing touchdowns in college football. Some people may know that or may remember that, may not, but he is. He also has more career NFL touchdowns than Teddy Bridgewater. He has a lot of chemistry with Kevin Stefanski from their time in Minnesota during that great run that they had. As I mentioned earlier, that is why they brought him in here. I think he's going to be able to manage very well. On the other side, Teddy Bridgewater is another injury that we need to talk about. He's got an injury to the foot and the quad. It's going to be raining, 95% chance of rain all day here, drops to about 70% during the game, but he's going to be dealing with multiple leg injuries on a wet field on the road against a very good defense. The Raiders defense hit Teddy Bridgewater 17 times in that last game. Just because we talked about the Browns and their makeshift offensive line right now, the Broncos have been dealing with a very similar situation. Now the Browns are going to get one of their tackles back with Wills. I think this is a great spot for the Browns. I make this line -4.5 with the current conditions, and it's just an absolute bonus if we get Jarvis Landry activated. As long as he's activated off the injured reserve list, he should be out there and on the field tonight. Browns -2.
Chat question from Jody, and he says, M squared, what about Bridgewater's record on the road against the spread? Your thoughts?
I have no interest in it. I mean, it's something to note, of course, but it's just one where they've always been underdogs, and it's been a different team. The Broncos are a team that's actually been overvalued so far this year because of the start to the season that they've had. But certainly, I'm not big on trends. If anyone follows me, I personally don't really look at trends. I don't believe in trends. Everything is a new game, a new day. So not something that I personally would care about.
Very good. And that's why I ask. All right, let's stay with the Thursday night football theme. And let's go over to my man, AB, who's on a different play from this same game. What do you got, AB?
Yeah, Coach, I'm going to go with the over 41 here, kind of contrarian because everybody thinks that it's going to be kind of sloppy, which what M Square just broke down in terms of weather, things like that. Absolutely. He's 100% correct. But I think that what Case Keenum brings to this game is actually going to be a little bit better for the Browns offense and Kevin Stefanski. Look, their problem has been throwing the football. Right now, they've been able to lean on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt all season, but you don't have those guys anymore. But I think that Case Keenum, with his experience with Kevin Stefanski, is actually going to help this Browns offense open this thing up and get the ball in the air and put some points on the board. On the flip side, if we get Teddy Bridgewater somewhat healthy, the Browns bring pressure on QBs at around 37% this year in the NFL, which is highest in the league. But if you look at Teddy Bridgewater, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL in terms of playing under pressure. He's got a 64% comp, 101 QB rating. But again, that foot, we've got to keep an eye on there. But at over 41, I think this is going to be one of those kind of weird, odd, sloppier games that we see points get put on the board. And M Squared brought up a really interesting point. I think there's going to be a little bit of a challenge here between both play callers, both Pat Shurmur on the Broncos side and Kevin Stefanski. They all come from that 2017 Vikings team with Teddy Bridgewater, with Case Keenum. And last point, if Drew Lock gets in the game, that man's fighting for his life in the NFL. So that might not be a bad thing either.
I feel like the longer you talk, the more you're trying to convince yourself of this pick right now. That's what I feel like right now. That's what I feel like. I was like, he's got to convince himself that the over. I feel like you're going to develop a tick with giving an over and 7 under out on the show. That's what I feel like. All right, moving on. Matty Severance, I know you got 4 big plays, so I need you to be relatively quick, but not fast, if that makes sense. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, M squared. By the way, Timmy Chang was a better college quarterback than Case Keenum was, just FYI.
Oh, wow.
On the NBA tonight, I like the Heat getting 2.5 against Milwaukee. Miami's home opener, season opener. We won on the Bucks on opening night against the Nets, but this feels like a little bit of a letdown spot. Just beating a good Brooklyn team and celebrating the NBA title, getting their rings and all that such. Drew Holiday hurt his heel. He's apparently supposed to play, but I'm a little skeptical why they would even push it this early. Could flare up. By most accounts, Miami had the best offseason of any NBA team, led by the addition of Kyle Lowry. We saw in the playoffs how different the Bucks are on the road, so I think the Heat went outright, but I'm not going to turn down the 2.5 points. NHL, I have won 6 straight in the NHL, which means I'm going to lose this for sure. Probably my favorite hockey bet is getting 1.5 goals on the home team, as long as it's under -150. We get that tonight on the Coyotes against the Oilers. Arizona's pretty bad, and Edmonton's unbeaten. This is the Oilers' first road game, and their number one goalie, Mike Smith, is out. So I think at worst, Arizona can stay within a goal. And they might have found a good goaltender, and there's some Czech rookie. I'm not going to pronounce his name because I don't know it. But again, so I think Arizona can hang within a goal there. Saturday college football, LSU Ole Miss under 76.5. I just think that number is absurd. Just like I thought last week's Ole Miss Tennessee 82 was absurd. We hammered the under there. Didn't even come within 25 points. Again, basically they'd have to score on every possession for this to go over 76.5. LSU's offense is not that great. They hung up 49 last week on Florida. Just took a crazy game from their running back. Reds quarterback Matt Corral is actually in question. I don't think anyone doubts he's going to play, but he's pretty banged up. So you can see him pulled pretty early. The game is in control to rest up for Auburn next week. So love the under there. And then I'm actually on the fence about tonight's game with so many injuries, so I'm going to hold off on that. But just kind of a fun 6-point teaser for Sunday. The Dolphins plus 8.5, Packers -1.5, Ravens -0.5 point, and Patriots -1. It plays plus 260 at DraftKings. Pretty self-explanatory there. I think the Dolphins might actually win outright, but when I did the money lines, it didn't really pay as well. And FYI, if you add Tampa Bay on the 6-point teaser to this at -6, it gets up to plus 400. But it would be just like my Bears to kind of, right at the last second and stay under that. So I'll stick with the 4 at plus 260.
All right, very good. Whitey says in the chat, Matty is like the guy at the bait shop who knows where all the fish are biting.
I just smell like fish.
Okay. All right, we have reached that time of the show where our anchor always brings us back and gets it on track. Maestro, what do you got for us today?
Well, I'm definitely going to be super quick because I see the time on this, how long this show has run. John Collins, first game since he signed a $125 million deal at home. I went over 14.5 points against the Mavs tonight. Both teams have the same starting lineups from last season. Let me tell you, John Collins' last 4 games against the Mavs, 33, 35, 35, 26 points. Just love that matchup for him. Next one, I put 4 plays up on the site for NFL. One of them I really love, the Bengals plus 6.5. I know I was against them last week and they burned me big time. I thought it was a terrible flat spot in Detroit. Well, they weren't flat. This is the game that they've been pointing to. They've all said this is not a regular game for us. They got embarrassed 65-6 combined in the 2 losses to the Ravens last year. The Ravens are at their all-time market high. They closed 2.5 against the Chargers. And now you're telling me the Chargers are 4 points better than the Bengals on a neutral field. The Bengals have a pretty solid defense, 18.5 points per game, solid against the run. Joe Burrow playing well. He's 8-4 as a dog. Even if Marlon Humphrey is on Jamar Chase, the other guys, we've got Higgins, we've got Boyd, we've got the tight end. There are other weapons. Love this play. I think they could get through the back door, or I think they could actually just keep it close throughout.
All right. You also bring up a good point that we dealt with yesterday. There are a lot more picks at SportsLine than what we give out here on the Early Edge. So when we tweet out a pick that we hit, it comes from SportsLine. Everything is a SportsLine play. Even Early Edge picks are a SportsLine play. Everything is under SportsLine, just so you guys understand that. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. We are up against it. So let's Lou that recap, and it looks glorious. 1 play from M-Score. We're going to go Browns -2 tonight, Thursday Night Football. Then Matty Severance, 4 different plays. You see that fun? We like fun picks, too. It doesn't always have to be serious. that fun teaser. Then we're going to go Heat tonight over the Bucks plus 2.5. Coyotes on the puck line against the Oilers. And then the under in LSU Ole Miss. Get it in now because it's surely to come down and not go up. AB, one play. We're going to go the over Broncos-Browns. AB will be with us tonight on Early Edge Live as well with, I'm sure, plenty more picks there. And the Maestro, 2 plays. John Collins, you heard the numbers. Staggering when he plays this matchup, over 14.5 points. Then the Bengals plus 6.5 taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. Then one play from the site. We're going to go both teams to score. West Ham and 8. Minus 110 now. Then from the gym, plus 359. Here's what it looks like. Browns, West Ham, and Florida Panthers on the money line. Tasty. All right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already. Turn on those notifications. We have so much content. You need to know right when it drops in your feed live. All right? We got you set. We led you to the water. Now it's time for you to drink. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For our entire team, AB, M Squared, the Lady Killer, and also the Maestro and the Jeweler, put it all together here at the brand. I am the coach. Tell your friends your favorite show. There's only one. We like to call it the Early Edge. Good luck.